for Kaka G video.
So this one is a 3LT Z51 full mag ride suspension, which is still intact, all adjustable between all three modes. But when it comes to the different models of the car, so you got your 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, you've got 3 different seat options depending on what it is, all the different color combination options. So yeah, it can be a little bit much, but I figured when building this car, I wanted the top car.
So this car has the Phantom kit on it. I think it's a pretty clean look for this car. I think a lot of wide bodies go against the styling of the car. This actually, for me, feels pretty solid. I don't feel like it took away from the car. I definitely feel like it adds to it. The car already has crazy body lines, and this is just one of those things that kind of put that little like cherry on the top. Ding! And looks good.
We've got a wide body kit, which is 1.5 inches on either side in the front wider, and then in the rear, we're 2.5 inches wider, so for a total of 5 inches rear, 3 inches front. That was a lot of work that went involved in it, but it was a whole lot of fun. Went up to LTMW, told them I wanted to wide body the car. They said, was I serious? I said, yeah. So took the car over to SEMA Garage in LA. They scanned it, sent everything off to Mira in Japan. Mira took about 2 months to render the car up, which is very impressive. And then made the entire body kit from everything that I understand with no car, no mocks, no nothing. Shipped it across seas over here to California. Car went up to LTMW. They had it for about 2 months, start to finish. And they did all the cutting, the prep, the paint, the installation, including building the wheels over LD97, which is right next door. And so on the front, we're running a 19 by 9.5. On the rear, we're doing a 20 by 12. And of course, you got to wrap them in Toyo R888R tires because I think they're the best, and plus I'm going to be racing them. So we're running the biggest tire that you can possibly run on the rear, which is a 325. And so that's how it all became. This is the world's first wide body and world's first air suspension C8 Corvette. Lucky enough, little shout out to TJ. TJ Hunt was actually the one that had the brackets first made, but never installed. So that's how I was able to then get them, because they did R&D on the car. I got the benefits of just being able to enjoy it and put it on the car. All of my cars, including this one, have been on air suspension of some sort or another. My first car was sponsored by Airlift Performance and fell in love with it. I was able to still race the car, drive it as hard as I wanted, but also be able to slam it down for shows and not have that problem that static cars have. And I had a lot of friends that were non-believers back when I built that first car on the air suspension while racing. Took them out to Fontana, threw them in the car, and put it around the Roval a bunch of times on air. I had 3 friends go out and buy air suspension after that because they believed that it could actually really be beaten on. Always loved cars on air suspension because obviously the look, and you can still drive it and still beat on it pretty good. So some of the future plans for the car is some sort of forced induction, whether it's a twin turbo setup or a supercharger setup. I'm still bouncing back and forth. I think I'm more now leaning towards a supercharger setup just because there's been some issues, as everybody knows, with turbo setups, stuff like that. Also just more maintenance in general. End all goal of however I get to it is I want to have a dyno sheet that says 1,000 to the wheel. So that was where I was taking my other build, but then I bought this one instead. As of right now, she's just all stock. I knew there was going to be a lot of hype around it. It was definitely going to be the car of the year, just like the Super was, and I really want to be a part of it. I've always been an American muscle guy, and I've always been a Chevy guy. When the C8 came out and I had the opportunity to get one, especially at a top spec, I jumped on that opportunity, and I'm very glad I did, and I haven't looked back from it. And to be completely honest, I thought a lot of the hype was gonna kind of wear off pretty quick, but it was still gonna be fun while it lasted. It really hasn't. This car, regardless, body kit or not, it turns heads. I still love seeing other C8s. When I see one on the freeway, I still always like to stare at them. It's hard to explain to people who haven't driven a mid-engine car, but I've had the opportunity to drive a lot of different supercars and high-end cars on tracks and streets and everything. This car will hold with almost anything. The 0 to 60 out of the box 2.9 is just absolutely ridiculous. People have been beating that stock. The car is so stable. I love doing canyon runs with it. Car hugs every corner with or without the body kit. It's just a hell of a platform. Honestly, in my opinion, the best car that you can get for under 100 grand these days.